Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and today we're doing an unboxing of this PDX-V9 5-channel amplifier by Alpine. This is their top of the line 5-channel amplifier, and today we're going to go ahead and get this box all pulled apart to show you all the specs and features and included accessories with this box. Let's get started. Okay, so as we get started, before we pull this thing apart, first couple of things to note. Because this is a 5-channel amplifier, you have 4 channels reserved for interior speakers, whether that's door speakers or dash speakers or wherever the speakers are located in your vehicle. You have 4 channels of interior speaker power. The 5th channel is actually reserved for a subwoofer. So if you want to run a sub, this is a great option for you because you can amplify basically all the speakers in your vehicle with one amplifier. Now looking here, this amplifier is unique in the way that it puts out that power. Now that 4 channels for the inside of the vehicle, they're actually at 100 watt RMS, which is awesome. So we're going to be powering some Type R speakers off these 4 channels, which will take this power great. The 5th channel, or the sub channel, does 500 watt RMS on that channel, which is great for just about any sub on the market as well. Now what's unique about this amplifier is it does this power at 4 ohms and at 2 ohms. So as you notice here, regardless of the impedance that you're running, you're still going to get the same power output. Same thing with the subwoofer. You can get this at 2 or 4 ohms. It still puts out the same amount of power. Keep that in mind as you're planning your install. This makes it really easy to just throw some speakers at it and make your vehicle sound great. First thing you'll notice, there are bits and pieces inside of this. You don't want to actually miss any of these. We got our speaker connectors. You can't lose these or else you won't be able to hook the speakers up to your amplifier. All right, so we got everything pulled apart here. We have our amplifier. We got some documentation that came with it, as well as both our speaker connectors and our power harness connector. These are pretty cool because they are quick disconnect, so if you do have to pull the amplifier out, all these do is unplug. You don't have to mess with screws or Allen wrenches or anything like that to get them pulled. Same thing with the power. It has 4-gauge power and ground and your remote in there as well, and this can quickly disconnect if needed. Now on the amplifier itself, behind this panel is actually all your controls for the amp, both gain and crossovers and high and low pass filters, everything like that located behind this panel. And on the back of the amplifier you have your main power connection, all your speaker connections, and your RCAs, as well as an optional bass knob if you decide to pick that up separately. Now here's a closer look at the connection side of the amplifier. Like I said, this is your main power connection, where your power harness actually will just clip right on into, which makes it super easy and convenient to make those connections. You have 2 40 amp fuses here, and then you have your 5 channels of speaker output. Now the first 4 channels are built for your interior door speakers or dash speakers, wherever the speakers are in your vehicle. And that 5th channel is your subwoofer output. That 5th channel will go right to a sub. Now channels 1 generally is your front left, channel 2 is your front right, channel 3 is your rear left speaker, and channel 4 is your rear right speaker. On this side of the amplifier we have our RCA inputs that correspond with our speaker outputs, as well as the sub channel. Now of course we have this, it's like a phone cable type connection here, where you're able to add the optional bass knob that's not included with this kit, but this is where you can make that connection. Now last thing to note, just like your power here, your speaker output also has those 5 different connection harnesses. You cannot lose those harnesses or else you'll be unable to connect your speakers. Now one cool thing about these connections for your speaker harnesses here, you make your connections actually within this plug itself and you tighten it down. You wire it to the corresponding positive and negative, so this side is negative, this side is positive based on this here, and when you go to plug it in, you actually can plug it in either direction. It actually doesn't matter, and the polarity will be correct within the amplifier, just the way it's designed. Really unique setup, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so we're on the other side of the amplifier. We've removed the panel so it exposes the settings here. using the included Allen key. So as we pull this off, starting on the top left-hand corner, we have our channels 1 and 2 settings. You have your gain settings, and then a high-pass filter settings. What's cool about that high-pass filter settings, not only does it have a ×1, meaning whatever is said on this dial, that's the high-pass filter, but you have a ×10. So in case you, instead of running full range speakers on your front 2 channels, if you run just tweeters, you actually can put this on the ×10 and be able to set those crossovers appropriately for those tweeters. On the right hand side of that, you have your channel source selector. So if, let's say, we only have 2 channels of source coming to this amplifier, we can set this little dip switch setting to 1 and 2, so the rear channels are pulling signal from the front channels. Now here on the second row, we have channels 3 and 4. Same thing, we have a gain setting for the rear channels. Now with this rear channels, we have an off high-pass filter, a high-pass filter on, as well as a band pass, so we can set a range that we want these speakers to go to. Again, if we're running tweeters on the first 2 channels and then mid-range speakers on the second 2 channels, you probably want to use that band pass there and set a low and a high range, so we have a mid-range high-pass filter. Now to the right of that here, we have our sub settings here. So we have our gain setting for our subwoofer. To the right of that, we have a subsonic filter. To the right of that, we have a low pass filter. And again, with the subwoofer input, the amplifier is going to ask us, is there a specific and set aside sub input that we're feeding the amplifier, or if we don't have a dedicated sub input for source, to pull an input for the sub side from our front speakers. So that's basically how you read and set up your amplifier. Our recommendation for this amp, or for any amplifier, to set your gains appropriately to use a distortion detector. SMD DD1 is a great distortion detector that we use here in the shop to set our gains. Finally here, just to take a quick look at the documentation that's provided, you do have a quick start guide. So this allows you to have some basic tidbits on how to get everything wired up within the vehicle. And then you have both the main user manual as well as a birth sheet. Now this birth sheet is pretty cool because on the front 4 speakers, it's actually pretty much overrated, that 100 watts. It looks like from the factory it's putting out 130 watts by 4 channels at either 2 or 4 ohms. And same thing with the sub, rather than just 500 watts, from the factory it's actually putting out 564 watts RMS, which is awesome. That's what we like to see. Alright, so that's about it for this quick unboxing. Just keep in mind there's a ton more specs on this amplifier that we're going to throw down in the description below. Now if you do want to see this amplifier in action, we're going to be getting this installed on a 2020 Toyota RAV4. Check that video out. Once that video becomes available, it'll be down in the description or up in a card above. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you like what you saw. Be sure to subscribe. We have a ton of new content always coming out on the channel. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.